The man opened the takeaway box. He was a little surprised. This luxurious 3 dishes and a soup set meal was so cheap. He happily finished eating. Afterward, the empty box was collected again by the delivery driver, who returned it to the original owner of the box. The woman who received the empty box smiled with satisfaction. It seemed that the meal being finished meant her husband's approval of her. She even went to the window and boasted to the neighbor upstairs, saying that today her husband had actually finished all the food. At that moment, she didn't know that the lunch she had carefully prepared was actually eaten by a stranger. In India's unique takeaway system, even Harvard professors have praised it. The delivery man would go to each home to personally pick up lunch, then change several modes of transport along the way, first by bicycle, then by train, and finally walking, pushing the small cart to deliver to the designated location. This complicated process and unwavering attitude resulted in an extremely low error rate. But ironically, Annie's lunchbox was mistakenly delivered. Annie thought that her usually indifferent husband would take this opportunity to change his mind, so she carefully dressed up and happily waited for her husband to come home. But her husband didn't even look at her. Annie felt disappointed. She carefully asked if the lunchbox was empty. Her husband replied that the cauliflower at lunch was delicious. Annie was completely stunned because she didn't make cauliflower for lunch. Meanwhile, Carl personally went to the takeaway shop to ask who had made the dish. The takeaway shop admitted they made it. Carl praised the food and said it was very delicious. The shop owner was equally puzzled because no customer had ever praised a dish of cauliflower like that. Carl looked at his bland dinner and couldn't stop thinking about the lunch from earlier. So the next afternoon, he couldn't wait to open his lunchbox. Today's meal was just as sumptuous, but strangely, there was a note inside. The note's writer thanked him for finishing the meal they made. Though Annie knew it was the wrong delivery, she still felt happy for the whole afternoon. As a thank you, she made a few more dishes for him to try today. Carl thoughtfully set the note down. He hadn't expected all of this to be a misunderstanding. That night, Annie received an empty lunchbox again with a reply from him. She curiously opened the note. It read that today's meal was too salty. Annie angrily complained to the neighbor upstairs, and the neighbor threw down a basket of chilies, telling Annie to teach him a lesson. The next afternoon, Carl received Annie's lunchbox again. He eagerly tasted a bite and immediately felt his tongue burn from the spice. That's when he realized he had been retaliated against. But that night, Annie found the lunchbox empty again. Many workers have no time to go home for lunch and can't afford expensive takeout. But Carl was able to enjoy a luxurious 3 dishes and a soup, making him feel incredibly happy and satisfied. But this happiness was temporary. He thought his connection with the lunchbox's owner had ended there. But unexpectedly, the next day, he received the lunchbox again. It turned out that his sincere thanks had touched Annie, so she sent a long letter in return. 2 strangers, through this simple lunchbox, began a unique and warm exchange.